Hey, what's going on everybody? Jason here. Welcome back to another episode of Zombies Overrated, Underrated, the show where I select 3 random topics from a zombie skull to see if that thing is either overrated or underrated. So I think without further ado, let's jump into the first topic of today's episode of Zombies Overrated, Underrated. Let's see what we got here today, ladies and gentlemen. Voyage of Despair. I know the majority of the community do not like Voyage of Despair, and I'm gonna have to agree with them, so I think Voyage of Despair is properly rated. You could definitely point out a lot of flaws with Voyage of Despair, and I'm just gonna list a couple of them. For starters, you get way too many special enemies. There are so many Catalysts and Stokers and even Blight Fathers in the later rounds that come too frequently, and it just makes things really frustrating and ruins the map flow. Speaking of map flow, the entire map is so close quarters and so cramped that map flow doesn't really exist. Moving from one room to the next is very annoying, especially when you get down into the engine room or the cargo hold. Those rooms are terrible to traverse. Now, there is one bright side to Voyage of Despair, and the only thing that I think is underrated about the map is the Kraken. It's a pretty decent wonder weapon, but the rest of Voyage of Despair isn't that great, and I think Voyage of Despair is properly rated. Moving on to topic number 2, ladies and gentlemen, let's see what we got here today. And it will be, this is a big topic, the Aether Storyline. The Aether Storyline, the storyline that we've known for over a decade with Call of Duty Zombies, and is something that the fans love tremendously. The fans love the characters, the themes, what happens on the maps, and things like that. However, I think a lot of Zombies players play for the gameplay mechanics first and then the story second, if they even consider the story at all. So, for that reason, I think the Aether Storyline is slightly underrated. Like I just said, the Aether Storyline has been around for a long time, and a lot of players just play for the gameplay first and the story second, if they even play for the story at all. And for the people out there that make storyline content for zombies, you're talking about a niche within a niche, because the zombie storyline is definitely so intricate and so convoluted to the point that it's definitely something that a lot of casual players wouldn't really get into. Plus, there are a bunch of unexplored aspects from the Aether Storyline that Treyarch hasn't even tapped into and the community doesn't even know about, so there's definitely a lot more potential for the Aether Storyline. Even though the Aether Storyline technically ended with Tagged or Toten, the Aether Storyline still has a lot of things that I personally think we can dig into and discover. The world building is phenomenal, and for a lot of hardcore Zombies fans, the Aether Storyline is something that will be cherished forever. But, like I said, a lot of players just play for the gameplay first and then the storyline second, which is my reasoning for why the Aether Storyline is slightly underrated. And the final topic for this episode of Zombies Overrated, Underrated will be... what is this? What is this? Blood of the Dead. Another Black Ops 4 Zombies map being talked about today on Overrated, Underrated, and Blood of the Dead, without a doubt in my mind, is definitely underrated. I know a lot of people in the community don't like the Blood of the Dead Easter egg, and for good reason. I'm not a super big fan of the Easter egg either, but you look at some of the other gameplay aspects of Blood of the Dead, and it's not that bad. Personally, the Magma Gat, the newest upgrade that you can have for the Blunder Gat, is fantastic and is personally my favorite wonder weapon in Black Ops 4 Zombies. You also have the new additions to Blood of the Dead, such as the new Industries building and the Catwalk, something I think is very innovative for Black Ops 4 Zombies. And since Blood of the Dead is a Mob of the Dead reimagining, of course you have the normal Alcatraz prison that's the center point of the map, and you can have a lot of fun with the original Mob of the Dead layout too. Now, I understand there's a lot of bad things from Blood of the Dead, but also I think there's a lot of good things in this map that I think the community overlooks. I said this before in a previous episode of Underrated Overrated. Because this is in Black Ops 4 Zombies, it's prone to get more hate than if it was in Black Ops 3 or even Black Ops Cold War. However, I'm one of those people that thinks Black Ops 4 Zombies is not as bad as everyone makes it out to be, which is why I think Blood of the Dead is an underrated map. Anyways, guys, that is it for this episode of Zombies Overrated, Underrated. What did you think of the topics we covered today? Feel free to let me know in the comments. Anyways, that's it for this video, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe if you're a brand new viewer, and check out all the links down below in the description to stay up to date with everything that I do. And with that said, have a fantastic rest of your day or night, depending on where you are in this crazy world, and I'll see you guys next time.